Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Welcome to another exciting episode of the EntreMusician Podcast. This is the space where we sharpen our mindset, discipline, and focus. And let me tell you something, today's episode, absolutely no exception, but we're going to revisit a chapter from my best-selling book. You've seen this before, I'm sure, heard it if you're not watching. It's the Path of The EntreMusician, 9 keys to unlock your mindset, your discipline, and your focus. I'm very grateful for this book. This is not a brand new book. It's my first book. I'm starting to work on book number 2. This book has been out about 18 months now, and while it certainly hasn't been flying off the proverbial shelves, or it hasn't gone viral, and there's not a million copies sold, it is my best-selling book because it is selling consistently. I think that's the key word to use. It's a consistent seller, and I'm extremely grateful for this. But most importantly, I must say that I'm extremely grateful for the caliber of people who have purchased this book and read it, and some of them have purchased multiple copies, and they've been kind enough to spread the information around. They reached out to me and they let me know what this book has meant to them, and I'm really grateful. I guess you can tell that. And you might be aware by now that I was approached by Italy's prestigious iClassical Academy. Irma De Jong, Gianriccardo Pera, friends of mine now, but they reached out to me after reading this book, and they asked if I would compose, or that's not the right word to use, but if I would compose, if I would create a course and a curriculum based upon the book. And I was blessed to be able to do so, and I was contacted by iClassical Academy around mid-January, and I was told that the course was among the top series that their students engaged in. And wow, what a blessing that is. Now, obviously, if you know me well enough, and if you've known me long enough, you understand that I'm not sharing this information with you from a place where I'm bragging or anything like that. It's complete gratitude, which, by the way, is key number 9. So by no means do I tell you this in any way of boasting. What I'm doing is I want to share this information about this book and iClassical and the people who have bought multiple copies, because I want to encourage you. Okay, I want to encourage you with this fact that here I am, just this little bald brown guy from Youngstown, Ohio. Okay, I'm an average musician, ladies and gentlemen. I think I do okay. I have no formal training, however. I'm a decent songwriter and a decent producer. I love what I do, I guess, but I'm just on my grind, I'm just doing what I know how to do. Music is the tenet of my life. It's the thread of my life. And wow, to be able to just write a book and then see the different places it takes you. And this book just began as a journal. That's why I was writing. I was actually journaling to see if I really believed in mindset, discipline, and focus. By the time I got to my iPad and started writing down these ideas on what I call MDF, I had already prayerfully decided to leave my day job. My beautiful wife, Lori, and I, we celebrate 29 years of marriage this year as of this recording, and we had prepared as best we could to put our pennies together because we realized we were stepping out of the boat, to walk on water. And we had to keep our eyes focused on Jesus. That was all we knew and all we had, because I was, by leaving my day job, removing 60% of our household income off the table. So I set out to write about these things because I was going to have to live them first. I had no grand plans of, write a book, and sell 1 million copies or anything like that. No. Mindset, discipline, and focus. This is the premise of what you need to do here at the EntreMusician. And as a result, I just kept writing. And over time, I realized the manuscript was unfolding. So what I'm sharing here with you, I want you to keep saying this. What I'm sharing with you is a key concept that I absolutely live out. And what we're going to talk about is key number 6. Key number 6 is learn. And by implementing this particular key, I can tell you truly, daily, I'm growing and I'm becoming wiser. And by sharing this key with you and sharing the power of implementing the key of learning, I am asking you to come alongside me, okay? I'm asking you to do that. So let's dive into it. This is learn, key number 6. You should know that the nucleus of every EntreMusician is the inherent capacity and an exceptional pining to learn, grow, and develop. Our insatiable hunger to know as much and more of a particular chosen field, specifically music for us, is constantly at the ready. EntreMusicians actually eat knowledge for breakfast. We do. We eat research for lunch, and we eat critical thinking for dinner. We do this. It's what we've learned to do, and now it's become a part of our DNA. We need to know, what don't I know about my particular profession? Whether it's songwriting, whether it's production, whether it's just recording, whether it's your instrument. What don't I know that my contemporaries know? Or how do I monetize a particular piece of information? And what more can I learn about the technology and the distribution of music that I don't already know? Can I tweak the ways that we nurture our fans, followers, friends, and family? How does that work? Right? These are questions. What resources are available to us to teach us effective efficiency? See, specialized knowledge is not only the means of learning, it's also how to implement. Coaches and trainers, true, are not our only sources of knowledge. That needs to be taken under consideration, because EntreMusicians realize that we can learn from anybody. We can learn from everyone. Let me repeat that. EntreMusicians realize it's not only the coaches and the programs, we can learn from anyone. EntreMusicians realize that we are not above anyone at any time. That's just not our posture. Anyone can teach us when we are willing to receive and when we're willing to implement what we have received. The truth about it is, your waiter, your bartender, the cashier at that mart, your mechanic, your plumber, whomever you're involved with can teach you tons of life-changing lessons if you're willing to listen and to learn. That's true. Now, the best advice that I've ever received about negotiation was from my accountant, Sterling. Okay, I'm not going to discuss that here, but Sterling has a lot of great ideas about a lot of things, and not just keeping my books. And when I sit and I listen, I learn a lot. Another thing about EntreMusicians is that we are voracious readers. EntreMusicians devour everything inside of our career path, as well as selected, albeit varied information which lives just outside of our wheelhouse. Meaning, in layman's terms. We read everything we get our hands on, right? And while there is no time for foolishness, or reading unwise material, there's always room for appropriate disengagement. So we read what we need to know about our craft, and then we step out a couple layers and read some peripheral information as well. But let's get back to the coaches and trainers I mentioned. Obviously, you can learn from coaches and trainers. You can learn from anyone. But with respect to coaches and trainers, I have to make a confession to you, because for several decades, I denied myself the opportunity of knowing all I needed to know. Okay, I looked upon life coaches. I'm like, what? A life coach? I looked upon them with suspicious detest, if that's strong enough a statement. I surmised that all they wanted from me was my money. You understand what I'm saying? Here's this big life coach, and he or she is going to teach you what you must do, and you will pay them thousands of dollars. That was it. That was all I gave it to. I was boxed into that type of mindset. I figured that everything that I needed to know, I would and could figure out by myself. I'm a smart enough guy. I know how to open up a manual or get online or Google it. This was misguided thinking. But there was also, as I said before, the prices of some of these courses, which to me were astronomical. I didn't make room for the money, and I haphazardly tried to glean all of their free stuff, because they do give away free stuff, and I tried to string it all together myself. That was foolish of me. And it will be foolish of you too, should you try this injudicious approach. It'll never happen. You'll never string all the free stuff together and find out how to implement it appropriately. Just letting you know that. You will never have enough money to justify the true cost of what it means to hire someone who absolutely knows exactly what to do and explain it in a way where you can do it too. So spend what you have, invest in yourself, and learn what you need to, and do it right now. Now, I must admit, I got wise when my wiser than I wife hired a coach to teach her in real estate. Now, she's already a real estate agent, and was at the time, and she seemed to be a natural. She had been doing very well in our area for, I think, 5 years or so at the time. But after she spent more money on her coaching program than our brand new refrigerator cost, Lori began to scale like never before. It was very, very interesting to me. Same market, right? Same region, same homes, but different training. Think about that for a second. Same music career, same technology, different training. A different method of looking at the same thing. Now that's focus, right? That's the premier of focus, to be able to see things beyond the surface. So what I did was I followed suit. I had already enrolled in Michael Elsner's course, Master Music Licensing. That's a very, very good course. But at the time that I enrolled in it, this is like 2012, it was only an instructional video and a private Facebook group, But later on, Michael decided to open up times of Q&A, which really, really helped tremendously. So I began to learn more about music licensing, about my role in music licensing, about what music supervisors are looking for, and it just became a little bit more open to me. Now, once Lori's coaching proved to be a brilliant transformation for her as a realtor, then I additionally enrolled in Isabella Bedoya's The Fame Hackers, and subsequently her dynamic mastermind, which several of us would meet weekly to learn, grow, to challenge each other, and to help each other out of problems. That was a real game changer for me. Now, at the EntreMusician, we also host a mastermind group, and we meet on Sunday mornings with our international community, and also on Sunday nights for those of us who are stateside, for times of bonding and sharpening and strengthening each other. Interestingly, the words that we have employed are 3 words as well. So in addition to mindset, discipline, and focus, when we describe the EntreMusician, it's about community, it's about coaching, and it's about collaboration. Community, coaching, and collaboration. And that is what makes us thrive and grow together. At the EntreMusician community, we frequently share projects. We share problems all the time, and personal and professional perspectives to prod each other onward. I know I used a lot of P words in that, but that's what we do. Because you know why? There's so much to learn, especially if you are a musician who's 50 years old and over. You know, there's so much that's changing in the music industry all of the time. And being a part of a community where we're sharing resources and giving each other advice and collaborating on music absolutely helps. Because I can tell you, the moment that you or I get to the place where we think, oh, been there, done that, nothing more to see here, that's the day they should stick a fork in you, because not only is your career dead, so are you. That's the truth. Life is moving all the time. It's moving spiritually, emotionally. It's moving physically, financially, culturally, economically, politically, educationally, dynamically, practically, and about 22 other leaves you might want to stuff in there as well. But EntreMusicians realize that not only is knowledge power, but the correct amount of implementation of that power is dynamite, right? You know that analogy. You just don't want to come in swinging at everything with a hammer or a stick of dynamite. You got to know how to harness the power that you have. And that makes all the difference in the world. Even more, as a songwriter, you realize that you've multiplied the amount of material that you're able to create just because you've decided to increase your intelligence on all kinds of different matters. See, that learning process helps you in your craft. It helps me as a drummer, to listen and to learn, right? It helps me as a songwriter. It helps me as a producer. It's a blessing to keep your heart and mind open to new possibilities. Learning is an extraordinary key. See, your goal is to remain specific while broadening your generalizations. Does that make sense? Specialized learning, but you broaden your generalizations as well. Now, you can't, won't, and should not be the master of everything, right? But when you stretch yourself by learning new fields, by learning new techniques and technology, which are hidden already within you. You have the capacity for it. And you begin to make that a part of your career goal. You set yourself in a path of greatness just because you have accessed various levels of understanding. I know we're getting deep here, but I want you to think about that for a minute. Already you have the capacity to do so many things. So just by allowing them to spring up inside of you and begin to implement them and learn about them and grow in them, you watch and see how your life changes. Now, my life has expanded greatly just because I dared to learn and to experiment. I've been blessed to act in 2 independent films and 2 regional plays in my area, and I was the lead character in each one of them. Now, the first one, interestingly, I did not know that I had the lead role until the close of opening night. It was the play The Fabric of a Man, and I'm playing the nephew. I thought my uncle was the lead role. I'm not exaggerating. It wasn't until the end of closing night, oh, I've got the lead role. I've done voiceover work. I've written music for small film projects and TV and radio and multimedia commercials, and I've been sharpening my craft as a songwriter for sync licensing, as a music producer for my own projects, as well as for other artists. Now that the EntreMusician is firmly launched and taken off, and I was provided the opportunity to create, produce, and host a new TV show here in my area of Youngstown, Ohio for Armstrong Media. Now, this summer, we're going to take the Artist Impact brand to a new level and actually go out to local venues. And we are going to be right on point at the scene while the band is playing live. So that's going to bring a whole new aspect of that. And then we're going to expand the brand this spring to begin a brand new show which highlights independent filmmakers. And we're calling that the Director's Chair. So all of these great things are happening, including, of course, the continual sale of this book and the courses that are coming along because of it. Now again, I said again, I hope you felt my spirit long enough to know that I didn't list all of these experiences for bragging rights or trying to pat myself on the back. I'm not. I'm extremely grateful to God for Him downloading the talent within me and giving me the spunk and the juice to say, go do something with that, right? I got to tell you, to be quite honest, some of these projects paid very little to nothing. And most only moved the needle a fifth of a millisecond forward. And on a few of these projects, and in the past, I was bruised and burned by others within an inch of my life. That's just the truth. But the issue for me is I trust will be the inspiration for you. The issue for me, and what I trust will be the inspiration for you, is to learn. Learn and try, grow, expand, study, flow. Each of the aforementioned experiences taught me much more about myself. I learned a lot more about Jerry. I learned a lot more about my craft and why I'm here and what makes a professional, especially the fumbles and the failures, right? I didn't know how much a person could be stretched beyond their areas of uncomfortableness. I didn't know until I got in the game. And that's the way it's going to be for you too. Experiences like these completely center you. They bring you back to ground zero for absolutely sure. Experiences like these force you to decide once and for all if you're going to come back to rehearsal tonight or if you're just going to throw in the towel. You got to ask yourself the real questions when you begin to learn about your craft and you get into deep water about what the expectations are, about how the industry really works, about deadlines and what is actually expected from you every time, consistently. It causes you to ask, who am I anyway? Right? Who are you? Are you in your workout room? Are you in your studio? Are you in the rehearsal hall getting it done? Or are you on Facebook arguing about the various shades of blue socks? Seriously, how do you value your time? What are you prioritizing? Where do you really want to be? I can tell you right now, 5 years flashes by in 2 weeks. Listen to this old man. Time is short. Understand that everything you need to know about what you want to do is right here on your phone. I don't even have my phone around, or I would hold it up, but that would have made a good prop, wouldn't it? But everything you need to know really is in the palm of your hand right now. The knowledge of the world is literally at your fingertips. There isn't anything that you cannot study. There is no course online. Some, again, we say and have said before, are $1,000 or more. $8,000, $10,000 even. But there are others just getting started and getting your mindset right. They're free and they're right at the tip of your finger. The courses and the seminars, which cost you the cold hard cash, they are priced that way for a reason. And again, you should save your pennies and make sure that you're starting off here, but you want to get to there. There are zero excuses and even less reasons for why you cannot achieve, attain, and aspire to all you were created to be. So, my friend, I lovingly challenge you from my heart to excel by learning. If you haven't had that penchant to really learn and dive in, that's a key that you're missing. Always avail yourself to pertinent and practical information, which advances your awareness, advances your talent, your career, your very life. Obviously, I eagerly invite you to consider becoming a member of the EntreMusician. Consider the community, the coaching, and the collaboration, which is right here for you, waiting for you. Now, this is a membership community, and it's a very, very small monthly subscription price. It's just a subscription price that is going to cause you to have to put a little skin in the game, because oftentimes, as we have seen, that when people receive something and they haven't put any skin in the game, they value it less. They come when they want to, but when they have a little bit of skin in the game, when there's a little bit of an investment, then they want a return on that investment. But I got to tell you, the wealth of sheer knowledge, the networking and opportunities to collaborate with musicians from all around the world, that's exactly what we're about. That's exactly what is happening. That's exactly why the EntreMusicians is growing. Did I say S? Yes, EntreMusicians are growing, but the EntreMusician singularly, the EntreMusician is growing. Schedule a 15-minute call with me and see how you can get involved today. This is all about learning. Key number 6 from the Path of the EntreMusician, 9 keys which will unlock your mindset, discipline, and focus. Give me a call. Peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I'm the EntreMusician. What's most important? So are you. We'll see you next time.